Perhaps. There we go. Hey guys, good morning. It's Ted Bogert. We're back with the TED Show. How's everybody doing? And of course, this is our series, Top of Mind Tuesdays, but this is the Thursday edition because of Ted's scheduling situation. We're going to talk about what's your message, what your social media says about you with the one and only Yvonne Sandoval from Leverage 365. What's up?
Hey there. It is. I can't believe it's Thursday. Well, you know what? It starts with a T, so we're good.
Close enough.
Top of mind Thursdays, Tuesdays, we got the T.
Top of mind, it's fine. Thursday edition. I came up with that one last minute. I'm like, didn't they used to do that kind of stuff? We had an edition of. So I love this topic tremendously. There's so much interesting stuff we could spend hours talking about. Because I believe that this is the crux of what most people either do right or do wrong on social media. It can be a whole, and you're going to talk about it, of course. Yeah. But there's a whole do's and don'ts that we've gone over before, but this goes deeper. Like, what are people thinking? What's the message? People do look at it and they make an instantaneous judgment, whether they should or not. I know I do. I'm not going to lie. I look at something, I go, oh my God, why'd you put that on social media? But the expert's going to talk all about it, and that is Yvonne. What's up?
Well, thank you. You know, it's funny. This harkens back to like that word harkens. This harkens back to the days of my dating doctor show. I like to bring you information that's not only from my experience, but I like to the experience of others and people who are professionals. So one of my dating doctor's days, one of my great sources of information is Psychology Today. Psychology Today is a publication that goes back 100 years now. They have been doing and putting out articles by prominent scientists and doctors in different fields of psychology. And of course, Psychology Today has to address social media, because social media has become within itself a scope of research in the human mind and why we do the things we do. So today I am going to go back and harken to those days of bringing you knowledge from the higher powers, which is Psychology Today. So, when you're posting things on social media is basically a bulletin board of what's going on in a microcosm look at your life today. Yes. But the difference is in social media is that microcosm way back in the day, maybe if you had spoken to a coworker, or maybe you spoke to a family member, you talked to a friend, that day that you were having that bad day, it probably just stays that day. 2 days from now, they're going to forget about it and they move on with their lives. With social media, when you're having a bad day or you're having a great day, it lives on forever.
That's right.
So you can't escape the things that you have experienced. So when you're posting something, please keep in mind it is forever. So if you're having a bad day, you have to take 2 steps back. If you're having a great day, you take 2 steps back. And remember that when you do post it, unless you're going to go back and delete it, it's going to be something that lasts forever. But,
and it's not like, so somebody in the past could say, all right, well, I just won't look at that post ever again. But if you're on Facebook, it reminds you every single day what happened the last 1, 2, 10 years. And so there's really no escaping it. And it also brings up the people you tagged in those posts. Absolutely. And you may or not be affiliated or friends with or in that relationship. And so you really do have to be careful, because Facebook's going to make you look at that one more time every year.
Yeah, those miserable you-know-whats, they really are. And they're doing these things to you because they want to keep you engaged. Addicted is really the word. To their platform, because they have a very big financial gain to keep you engaged, or the word is addicted. So I'm putting on my science glasses.
There you go, science glasses.
I'm going to say something smart. That's why I put this on. So from Psychology Today, basically they tell us that the majority of Americans use at least one form of social media, which is not any way, shape, or form mind blowing. We all kind of knew that, but basically, that what they found is that there are 5 personality types that they have derived by watching and studying social media. So these 5 personality types actually dictate, we don't even know that this is happening, the kind of posts we're going to make is based on our personality types.
Fascinating.
So, yeah, that's why I love to. I miss my dating doctor's days because all of that was all based on psychology, really. It wasn't just my crazy experiences. So the 5 personality types that we're finding in social media are extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, openness, and neuroticism. Well, that's going to have to be defined, each one of those. So extroversion, obviously, is sociability and feeling energized by the interactions of others. So if you're an extrovert, you really don't even need that definition. You know who you are. But just so others who maybe are not. Agreeableness is that warmth and cooperativeness and a desire to get along with others. That's what that means with agreeableness. And conscientiousness is being practical, being organized, and being hardworking. And so that's kind of these things, as I'm defining them, they sound pretty logical. And then openness, creativity, intellectualism, and openness to new experiences. And I think that's me. I don't think I'm an extrovert at all on social media, but I would say if any one of these 5, I'd say openness is me. And then the neuroticism. Well, the openness is about being creative and putting out there and something intellectual, something that makes people think, and then having an openness to new experiences. So that is something that I feel in the openness personality trait. That would be me. I don't think extroversion or agreeableness, that would not be me at all. And conscientiousness, being practical and organized, we definitely know that I'm not very practical sometimes. Hardworking, yes, but not very organized at all times. Doing the best I can. I bring people into my world who are more organized than I, so to keep me organized. And then neuroticism is moodiness and anxiety. So we find people posting things based out of their moodiness and their heightened sense of anxiety. And I think we all know who those people are. We can read them very easily. So this personality traits, these 5, they're going to predict what people do on social media. That is what the scientists have found. There's been about 30 different studies, believe it or not. I said there is a science in psychology about social media.
Well, don't you think that, I have a little echo, sorry. Don't you think that people do post how they interact in the world too? Because I'm thinking like, you're definitely open. You're open in the real world too. But I also think that you can tell the people who are posting the neuroticism was the one, right?
Yes.
You can tell those people, and I'm anticipating them as the viewer or the receiver, that's how their posts are always going to be after a while. Once I identify in my mind, oh God, I don't want to look at those posts. You know how you snooze people? If you're always negative, always angry, or always engaging anger and hatred, I'm like, forget that, snooze or get rid of you. I know those kind of people. We all do. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. It says people who are high in agreeableness tend to be more open and less social than their less agreeable counterparts. But they also post more photos. So there's people who are always posting photos. Those people tend to be high in agreeableness. And conscientious people tend to spend less time using social media to learn about others. And they tend to play games, more or less. A high openness on social media platforms. High openness predicted the opposite pattern of high conscientiousness, like more time seeking information from others and getting more time in gaming. And like extroversion, neuroticism was also related to posting more updates and content. So people who are more neurotic are the people who are like, hey, I'm just taking the dog to the park. Hey, the dog needs to get a bath. Hey, the dog needs to have surgery. Hey, the dog did this. And they're basically giving you an update of the dog's life. It's not usually about themselves. It's usually about other things. And that goes back to this is kind of like a little bit off topic, but I feel that a lot of people out there that you see, and that this is more or less science actually, when you see a lot of people out there posting things about all the drama in their lives,
Yes.
those are anxious people. And what they're doing is that they're putting that anxiousness and their drama out into the world because they seek more of it. So believe me, if you want less drama in your life, you post less about drama because you're not seeking to attract it. The law of attraction tells us is that if you want something in your life, you're going to portray that so that can manifest itself. So if you have a lot of drama, I tell those people you have drama because you bring it upon yourself.
They put it out there, right?
Well, yeah, it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
So social media, a lot of this psychology of social media really is kind of logical, but we still need to hear it because I didn't do the science they did.
I also want to ask you.
Too.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you froze. I didn't mean to overtalk you.
No worries.
Let me ask you. We were talking before we went live, but we have this conversation all the time. I think people underestimate, which is why this is so important. People underestimate the power and the impact and the memory that people have of the impression that they have of your social media. So when we see something and it's off or it doesn't seem to go together or it's out of character for their job or their relationship, or at least our perception of that, we go into full judgy mode. Like, why are they doing that? And I think people don't realize that's a lasting impression. It leaves it on you and me and the audience. And I remember that over anything else. I'll remember the thing that really struck me that's outside of the norm, that's a little bit different than what my perception of that person was.
Yeah, and this is the funny thing is that people will say, well, I put out there what I want, and you don't need to judge me. Well, a total opposite, because when you put something out there, you are asking for feedback. The whole idea of social media is to put something out to the world, and you're expecting likes. You're expecting hearts, you're expecting care, all these different great emojis that somebody can put on your post. Nobody out there is putting a post on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook and they expect no engagement. So engagement is attention, okay? So don't tell me you don't want to be judged. You do want to be judged. You literally are asking for it because of the platform you're using. Right. So, yeah, if you put out there, you're out there and you're dancing in front of the camera, and you post that, and that dancing is, maybe you're shaking yourself about. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You're posting something about yourself that you're asking for judgment. You're asking for, hey, you're a great dancer. Hey, that's fantastic. Or hey, you look ridiculous. You're opening your book to the world, asking them for feedback. So people are going to judge because you ask them to. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I think people don't think of likes as judging, but it is. You're making a conscious decision. I mean, I either like it or I don't. They're both a judgment.
And that's the best thing about it. Why is there no thumb down? No, seriously. And the psychology behind social media is that the Facebook platform would never give you a down thumb because that would people would then feel as if they're being judged. Since there only could be positive emojis for your post, it's only positive accolades. That's why people are addicted to it. So if you're going to put something out there, at least own up to the fact that you want to be judged. I know it's hard. I know it is. But it's really, we're putting ourselves in that position, and that we have to accept that.
Do
So,
you think having a separate business page makes a difference? I mean, I like to look at all of it. So if you're all one way on your business page and your personal page is out of control, I'm still going to equate. I'm going to make an equation that the two of them go together, and then that doesn't make any sense to me. And so who's the real you? I mean, there's all sorts of things. People like to hide behind a business page, I guess, is my commentary to that.
Well, a business page is not a person, and social media is about being social. So yeah, you can have that extension of yourself, that your business, because your business is an extension of you, but you are you. So people are going to go to your personal page because that's where they can build a relationship, because they can build a relationship with a human, not with a corporation or an LLC or whatever the case you are, an S corp. I don't care what you are. But you can only build a relationship with a human being. So yeah, you can't hide, because this is social media, and you're putting everything out there, literally your voice, your face, what you're wearing that day, what you're feeling, even in the words that you use. So we have to be really cognizant of that, whatever you're saying, people are how they're receiving it. And they're receiving it based on what you say, what you do, what you post, pictures, and that's going to be, and people are going to judge you, because that's what social media is about. So, some of the words I wanted to let people know about, because I think it's really interesting, that there are words that predict high levels of extroversion. So people who are extroverts are going to use the word love, night, party, more often in their posts, which is I think that was pretty cool. And all of those words reflect social activity or relationships. And the people who have low extroversion, they are more likely to use words like computer, I don't. So that reflects a greater focus on themselves, and the preference for activities that involve things rather than people. So you can really tell if a person is an extrovert by just the words that they're using in their posts. I think it's pretty cool. And people who have high consciousness, like they're conscientious people, they're more likely to use words like family or week or weekend, because they're choosing the words that are indicative to the tendency to plan and focus on family responsibilities. So, I think that's really, really cool that, the neuroticism people, they always focus on negative words. They're usually sadder rather than angry, but we can get a bit of both. You can see people with with angry words as well. So I just think that's fascinating, that we really can reveal who you are by just studying your social media, and what you've chosen to put out there. I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's so important for people to realize too, that it's not just what you put out on social media, but I also look at people who tag you in things, and you allow on your what is it, wall, your news feed, whatever it's called.
Yep, news feed. Yeah.
I look at that, and when people try to tag me, and I either don't know them or don't like that message, there is no tag. But I can tell you, a couple of times I've missed it, and I've had people message me and go, "Don't you know that guy's an XYZ or that girl?" And I'm like, crap. So be very careful when you let things go on your Facebook or any social media platform. Let them go on your wall, your news feed, because that message is also watched by everybody who follows your page and sees it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I mean, yesterday, maybe I'll bring up a little story about what you put out there says about yourself. So I'm just going to say it straight out. There's a company called community.com. So community.com comes up in my news feed, and that's because one of my partner companies is community.expert. So the algorithms in Facebook like to scrape through your posts, and they pick up on common words that you're using, and they saw that I'm using the word community.expert very frequently. So now in my news feed, there is a ad from community.com. So a competitor, actually, kind of a competitor to my community.expert. But their post is a video, and maybe you've seen it. It's a video of a company that's using their services, which is actually a texting service that talks to your audience for you automatically over the course of how many months that you set it to be speaking to your audience. But the video and the company that they chose to be their poster child for community.com is a company called Slutty Vegan.
Oh.
That's the name of the company. They so
I was not expecting that. Sorry.
Neither was I in my news feed.
Okay.
So my news feed, and it's Facebook appropriate. So it's Facebook appropriate. It's appropriate for our show, right? Because that's how the world judges things.
Right.
So if Facebook deemed it okay, then we're not going to be in jail, right? Only Facebook can tell you what's right and wrong, right? Remember. So
don't forget.
They have an ad. It's for that shows that their poster child who uses this service is called Slutty Vegan, and then the video has a video of. Hold on a second. Sorry. Live show.
Live TV.
Live show. We gotta have noise outside. So they have a still image, and the still image is these cups that are from this company called Slutty Vegan, and they say slut fuel on the cup, and that's their swag that they give away. So I said to myself, number one, I know that algorithm in Facebook is showing me this ad for this texting service because of I'm using the word community over and over in my posts, but I don't like that word. I believe it's derogatory. I believe I don't want to associate with a company that's called Slutty Vegan, and I also don't want to see images of a cup as their swag that says, slut fuel. So it's Facebook friendly according to Facebook. So I, posted. I said, hey, does anyone out here think that this is the appropriate message to align yourself with if you're a company that sells texting services to realtors, to businesses that you want to be your poster child, the company that you want to show has gotten the best results from using your service is a company called Slutty Vegan. And that also the cups, their swag that you're featuring prominently in the ad, in the video, is that what you want? Like that's what you want to. So you know what?
Did you get a response?
No, they didn't. They didn't respond. But I tell you right now, I believe that when you put something out on social media, and you need to be open to the judgment. So they decided, this corporation got together and they said, you know what, we're going to put an ad on. We're going to pay for an ad on Facebook to promote our company, this texting service, and we're going to have a poster child, and we're going to use this company, who's our client. This is their client, and they have a little video, and the CEO is a woman, and she talks about how great this company, community.com, has serviced her business with their texting service. I'm sorry. I would never align my business with a company with that name. I believe it's a derogatory word. So I think that you know what? You have to own it. So this company's made a decision to do that. I made a decision that I don't want that on my newsfeed. So now I've hidden. Now they may have a great service. Maybe their texting service is phenomenal, and it has really helped with the growth of this particular company that they're showcasing. But I don't want to hear it because I think it's a derogatory word about a woman. It could be or a man, I guess. You could use that word. So I just didn't want to associate with that.
And the thing is that people don't realize, like, if you're smaller, that's a larger company that's promoting. If you're an individual, an independent contractor, a small business owner, when you put that out and people see it, that impacts your bottom line almost immediately. If it's something that, like, Yvonne doesn't like it, they have people that do like it, yes, but her whole point is expect to be judged, and whatever the ramifications are or consequences of that are, you've got to be able to accept them. So I have to wrap it up.
Got it.
I'm sorry. I love this topic. We have to talk about more on this maybe next time. Tell them how best way to reach you.
Well, you can go to getleverage365.com, or you can go to Yvonne Sandoval, my Facebook page. I would love to talk to you on there. Or you can reach out to me via text, 407-915-8000.
Right, guys, pay attention to what your message is. It's so important. We're all watching, and you're watching everybody else, so you know it. All right, till next time. Hopefully next time will be a Tuesday. So thank you for being flexible. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.